Let's talk about a claim that spreads fast online. 2 weeks of food can destroy you, and 2 weeks can cure you. The truth is more useful and more responsible. In 2015, Dr. Stephen O'Keefe and colleagues published a tightly controlled feeding study in Nature Communications. They swapped diets for 2 weeks. African American participants were given a high-fiber, low-fat African-style diet. Rural South African participants were given a high-fat, low-fiber Western-style diet. The important detail: the researchers adjusted portions to keep body weight roughly stable, so the headline result was not rapid fat gain. The headline result was biomarker change. What changed in just 14 days? They observed reciprocal shifts in the gut microbiome and its metabolites, especially short-chain fatty acid production like butyrate. And they saw changes in colon tissue biomarkers linked to inflammation and cell proliferation. That's a real signal that diet patterns can move gut biology quickly. But it does not prove that you created cancer in 2 weeks or prevented cancer in 2 weeks. Those are long-term clinical outcomes that require long-term evidence. Now let's address a second viral idea. A fatty meal turns your blood into sludge and shuts down your immune system. Here's the evidence-calibrated version. After a high-fat meal, blood triglycerides often rise for a period of time. This is called postprandial lipemia. And in meta-analyses, a single high-fat meal can transiently reduce endothelial function for a few hours. That matters for cardiometabolic health over time. But calling this immune paralysis or immune amnesia is not medically accurate. It's a metaphor, presented online as a fact. So what should a sensible 14-day gut swap look like for an older adult? First, target the most consistently harmful categories. There is strong consensus evidence that processed meat increases colorectal cancer risk, and major cancer prevention groups recommend eating little, if any, processed meat. So for 2 weeks, make your swap specific. Replace processed meats with alternatives you tolerate: fish, eggs, poultry, or legumes if appropriate. Second, add fiber in a way your body can handle. Fiber supports beneficial fermentation in the colon and helps microbes produce short-chain fatty acids, such as butyrate. That is one plausible pathway linking plant-rich diets to healthier gut markers. But, especially over age 60, do not jump from very low fiber to very high fiber overnight.
Start with small servings, increase gradually, and drink enough fluids. Third, use legumes as a tool, not a weapon. Beans, lentils, and chickpeas can be excellent, affordable sources of fiber and protein. Some contain resistant starch, which can reach the colon and support fermentation. But if you have advanced kidney disease, you may need individualized guidance because legumes can be high in potassium and phosphorus. If you have IBS, you may need smaller portions or different choices. Fourth, fermented foods are optional, and sodium matters. Kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, and pickles can add fermented flavors, but many are high in salt. If you have hypertension or heart failure, choose low-sodium options or keep portions small. And remember, fermented foods do not replace the basics: overall diet pattern and fiber intake. Here is a simple 2-week swap that is realistic. Processed meat to non-processed protein or legumes if safe for you. Sugary drinks to water, tea, or coffee without added sugar. Add 1 plant-rich meal per day, vegetables plus a whole grain plus a small portion of beans or lentils. This approach respects what the study actually showed. Biology can shift quickly, but it avoids the dangerous message that food changes replace medical care. One more essential point, especially for seniors. If you have red flag symptoms, blood in the stool, black stools, persistent or severe abdominal pain, unexplained weight loss, dizziness from dehydration, or worsening weakness, do not reset at home. Seek medical evaluation and keep up with colorectal cancer screening based on your local guidelines and your clinician's advice. The message you can trust is not all processed food is poison. The better message is diet quality is a pattern. Some ultra-processed categories are clearly associated with harm in large studies. Processed meats and sugary drinks stand out, while other processed foods can be neutral or even helpful, depending on their nutrient profile. So choose swaps that are specific, tolerable, and sustainable. I'm Professor Oleksiy Kalmykov. If you want, I can turn these swaps into a one-page senior-friendly checklist with safety notes for common conditions, hypertension, diabetes, CKD, and IBS without extreme rules.